Hello everyone, this is the tutorial for chapter 8, exercise 1. So we are going to use SolidWorks to create this part. Once again, it's chapter 8, exercise 1. So this is the part. And for making this part, I am going to create a sketch of the contour like this. Okay, like this. Then I am going to extrude the part in both directions. After that, I am going to create the circle because the circle is not on the same surface of this plane. So I am going to create a offset surface and make a circle, so both circles on there, and extrude the circle and do extrude cut for another circle. Or I could just extrude in one. Actually, I do need extruded cut because when I do this plane, so it's solid already. So I would need to do extruded cut. And after that, I am going to create this part. Okay, so draw this part and do extrusion. And at the end, I am going to do some cuts. So one cut here. And at the end, I am going to create those two ribs. And this is the plan. So let's go ahead and get the part started. And like I said, I am going to draw this part first. Okay, this part. And I don't draw the circle here because I don't want to extrude it cut twice. So I am going to just make this part solid. So let's go to SolidWorks. And this is a part, so let's create a new one. In the part, say OK. And check the units, looks right to me. So I go to sketch, and I am going to sketch. Select the front plane and start drawing the part. So if we take a look at the part, I would put the origin here, but it's your choice. And the diameter is going to be 60. I go back to SolidWorks, make a circle with the diameter 60, and go to Smart Dimension. Make a diameter 60 and draw some lines. So recognize the quarter position and a horizontal line, and go up, go left, go down, and it's about this position. Look good to me. Make sure the horizontal is on, and going up and go right, go down. Should be recognize the quarter position again, so I put it here and connect the line close to the ship. And now I am going to put the dimensions. So it says the height here is 5, so I'm going to start from here. So the height, Smart Dimension, make it bigger, so the height here is 5, and the height between those two, it says 12, and the distance between here and here looks like 60. Let me double check. Yes, it says 60. So put a 60 for that, and 18 for this. And let's see if we have more dimensions. So right now we dimension everything here. So we are looking for dimension here to there. So if we look at the top view, it says 40. So from here to here is 40. Let's go ahead and put that dimension. So actually this line is 40. And I am trying to figure out the dimension from here to the center. Okay, from here to the center. And it's actually a little bit tricky, so we could look at the dimension. So we know overall is 140, and this part is 60, this part is 18, and this part, so if we look up, so it's 18 as well. So we make a difference, 140 minus 16 minus 18 minus 18. So that's the distance there. Let's go back. And smart dimension from here to the center. So the distance is 140 minus 60 minus 18 minus 18. And put there. And we still have a blue line here, so we probably need a height of this part. Okay, a height of this part. So let's go back to our dimension. So from here to here, it looks like to me it's from here to the top here. Okay, so they are lined up actually. This is the right view of this part. So I think it's from here to the bottom. So it's 40. So let's put a 40 there. From here to here, it's 40. Now the part, they are all black and it's fully defined. So it's a good time for us to save the work. So we save. And it's chapter 8, exercise 1. Say OK. And now let's trim off the extra part. So I don't need this part, so I trim. And select the bottom one, trim to closest, and select this, and say OK. And still remains fully defined, so we are good. And now we are going to extrude the part. So we go to Features and Extrude it. And we select the middle plane. And now let's figure out the thickness. And we go back to the sketch. So if you look at the top view, so it says 54. Okay, 54 as the thickness. So we're going to go ahead and put a 54 there. And put the mouse here, looks right to me, then I say OK. And save the part. Now I am going to create this part. Okay, so this part. So first of all, I am going to create a reference plane with the distance. So from here to here, the distance 24 plus half of 18, which is 9. So I'm going to create a plane right here with the distance 24 plus 9. So I go back to the SolidWorks and look at the front plane. It should be in the middle because I extruded on both directions, so it's in the middle. And I go to reference surface and go to a plane. And my first reference is going to be the front plane. And the distance is 24 plus 9. Let's say OK. And this is the surface. I click yes. And now I am going to create this part. And I am going to create 2 circles there. So far, see what's going to happen. And I select the, try a good view, maybe front view. Yep, this is good. And I go to Sketch and draw a circle. So from the center point to here, it's 1. And draw another one from center to whatever. And let's look at the dimension. So it says 36 as the diameter. So we go back here, go to Smart Dimension, put a 36 here. And the other one, we need to give a dimension as well, because it's still blue. And the diameter of that is 60, so it's right. Now they are both black. And we save the work. And we are going to extrude the part, okay, from here to all the way down there. And we have to extrude it both and select use the extruded cut afterwards, because if you only extruded this part, then the center is still solid. It won't work. So we have to do both. So first of all, we do extruded. So select the sketch tool and go to features, extruded, and it's a round direction, so we flip the direction and give a distance here. So let's figure out the distance, and it's 18 plus 24 and plus another 24 in the other direction. So 24 plus 18 plus 24. So it's 24 plus 18 plus 24, and we got that. Say OK. And the next thing, we are going to do the extruded cut out this part. So we go to sketch once again. So mine is a sketch tool, so you can select the corresponding one that you just created. So sketch tool and do extruded cut. And I select the inner surface. And it's automatically recognized this. Let's try that, see if it will work. If it doesn't, then we'll figure out something else. Say OK. Yeah, I don't think that's the right thing. Yeah, it's the wrong thing. So let's try it one more time. Go back and go to sketch tool, and okay, so let's try one more other things. So let's delete this extruded first and go back to sketch tool. So I am going to delete the inner circle, only have the outer one. So when we extrude, it won't have issues. So go to sketch tool, go into sketch, and select the circle and delete it. So I have the only outer one, and save the work. Then I go here and extrude with the distance. The other side is the right space, it's the right distance, and say OK. Then I am going to create another sketch. So go to sketch and select a plane. I'm going to do plane 1 again. And it's a sketch 4. So I draw another circle and dimension it with 36 as the diameter. Say OK. And I'm going to do extruded cut on this part. So I do extruded cut, and now it works. And say OK. Now I got this part. Let's save the work. Now I am going to cut a slot. So let's go back here. So I am going to cut this slot. Okay, and I am going to create a sketch on this surface, and let's do that. So go here, and I probably want to go to the top view, and go to sketch, and go to sketch, select the top plane, okay, the surface here, and draw a rectangle. Probably select the center rectangle and make a center somewhere. So instead, I am going to use this one, corner rectangle. It's your choice, it's up to you. I am going to use this and draw a rectangle like this. And I'm going to dimension the rectangle. And all the dimensions, they are here. So 18 and 9 for each. And this is 24. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So dimension from the edge to the origin is 24. And from here to the origin, oops, that's not. So one more time, smart dimension. From this to the origin is 9, and from the origin to the bottom is 9 as well. And say OK. And they are fully defined. So I am going to make the extruded cut and save the work first. And go to Sketch 5, click Sketch 5, and do extruded cut. And go look a preview. Looks right so far. And say OK. Now I cut it a slot. And now I am going to draw the back face. Okay, the back face here. And I go to SolidWorks and select the back surface and I create a sketch on it. So I go to Sketch, select the sketch, and select the back surface. And this is my origin. So I probably want to go to the left view and make a rectangle and probably 2 corners. So anywhere, one is from here, the other until line it up with the surface. Because if you take a look at the drawing, and this is the point, so line it up with that. If it doesn't, that's okay as well. We are going to dimension that shortly. And put dimensions on. So the overall, the bottom is 92, and the height of that is 80. So we put 80 and 92. Go to smart dimension. This one is 80. And this one is going to be 92. And also it's supposed to be in the center. So from center to the right point should be half of 92. This is 92 divided by 2. Now the part is still blue because we have not given a distance between the line and the center. It was the origin. So we would need to figure out the dimensions there. So let's go back to the sketch. So actually it gives this distance as 40. So from here to the bottom is 40. Okay, and this is 40, then this is 6. Okay, 6 there. So 40 minus 6 is 34. So from here to here is going to be 34. Okay, here to here is 34. Now we have this part in the middle, and that's a circle, and it's 60 as the diameter. Okay, means from here to here is 30. Okay, and remember from here to here is 34, and here to here is 30. So the height from here to here is 4. Okay, so let's put that dimension from here to here is 4. Then let's take a look. Then everything is black, so we're good. And now before we move forward, we probably want to put fillets here. Okay, put 2 fillets here. And the fillets says R16. So let's go ahead and put fillets there. Do fillet. And this is 16. And same thing for these 2 edges. And say OK. And say OK. And do extruded. So go to feature, extruded, and the height is 18. So put 18 here. Say OK. Now it's a little bit off at the bottom. I guess when I did the sketch here, I used the number 5 instead of 6 because the handout is kind of blurry. So let's go back and fix this part, which is the height here. So it's going to be this sketch, and go in there and take a look at the dimension. And as you can see, I have a 5 here, but it's supposed to be 6. Okay, so let's go back and change this one to 6. And now it's connected, as you can see. Now I save the work, and will ask me to rebuild the part maybe. Okay, it did not, then we're good. Then this is the part so far. And now we are going to make 2 holes on here. And now the plane 1, I don't want to see that, so I click that and hide that. And I'm going to make the 2 holes. So go to Hole Wizard and select the 3rd one, the simple hole, and look at the dimension. So it's 16, and the 60 in between, and the height is 80 minus 64. So let's go ahead and put those dimensions in there. So the diameter is 16. Let's go, so asymmetric and 16. We do have a 16 there. And they all look right to me. And go to position, select the surface. So this is the surface that I want. And place the holes, 2 holes here. And now we are going to give it dimensions. So between each is 60. And the half of them should be 30. So from here to the origin, so it doesn't let me to pick, so I go origin here and say it's 30, and do the vertical dimension. So from here up it's 80 minus 46, and that one is black, and I do the same thing. So from here to there is 16 as well, and say OK. Now everything is black, and say OK for the hole, and double check no minus signs there, so I'm good. And now I am going to create ribs. So this is the rib that I'm looking for, and also at the bottom. Okay, so I am going to use the front plane. Okay, front plane, and draw this tool. So I go to SolidWorks and go to front plane. It's exactly in the middle. So I go sketch. I do sketch and select the surface. I go to front plane and I am going to draw one by one in case it made a mistake. So I go the right view or left view, doesn't matter. Whoops, that's the wrong one. I go front view and make a line there. So it's supposed to be from the top to here, and it should be fully defined. Yep, and that's right. And let's create the rib. So go to features. So it's underdefined. So let's save the work. It should disappear. It disappears. Go to features, then rib, and look at the direction. Looks right to me. And the thickness of the rib should be 12. So go back here and change to 12. And say OK. I got the rib there, and I'm going to do the same thing at the bottom. So go to sketch, select the sketch, and select the front plane, and move it to the front view, and draw a line between this point to this point, and say OK. And it's fully defined as well, so this is look right to me. And I save the work, and it's fully defined. I click the sketch 10 and go back to features, select the rib, and the direction actually doesn't look right, so I am going to flip it, and this is right. And let me check the thickness. Should be 18 as well, not as well, it's 18. So let's go ahead and put 18 here and say OK. Say OK. This is the rib. And I think that's all we have for this part. And after that, put it in a good view. Then save the work. Then you're all set for Chapter 8, Exercise 1. And thanks again for watching the video. We'll see you next time. Bye.